In October of 1988, not only did Akira Toriyama introduce Goku's evil brother Raditz in Dragon Ball, he debuted the Scouter, an all-purpose computer that users wear on their eye. 24 long years later, Google revealed their Google Glass, an all-purpose computer that users would wear on their eye. When it comes to art, one of my favorite things is when reality begins to unintentionally imitate it. It might not happen often, but when art bleeds into reality, it's usually just a lot of fun to notice. People like to believe that The Simpsons is prophetic because even though it's a rare occurrence, the show has predicted things like election results, pandemics, and disasters. This type of uncanny occurrence can be really cool or freaky depending on what it is, but most of the time, it's just a big fat coincidence. And by now, I'm sure some of you are wondering what any of this has to do with Chainsaw Man or Argentina. Well, sometime within the past year, they both randomly became linked because of one of these coincidences. Just a heads up though, spoiler alert for Chainsaw Man Part 2, I'm going to keep it vague, but I want to warn anyone who is anime only or behind in the manga that I will be talking about a plotline of the story that has miraculously become somewhat of a reality because of the most recent presidential election in Argentina. Let me explain. This is Tatsuki Fujimoto, the creator of Chainsaw Man. Here he is recording himself trying to learn how to levitate. Believe it or not, this guy is one of the most talented mangaka around, and while he definitely can't levitate, he just might be able to predict the future. For those of you that don't know, Chainsaw Man is about a kid named Denji who lives a pretty messed up life, then dies. But he gets another chance at living after his best friend, a devil dog with a chainsaw on its head named Pachita, replaces his heart. This gives him the ability to turn into Chainsaw Man, a devil hunter with a chainsaw for a head and arms. In part 2 of the manga, we see that even though it's still Denji's secret identity, Chainsaw Man has become a famous hero. He starts out having a fan club online, but eventually, after the world experiences a disaster that takes the lives of thousands of people, a cult emerges in the form of the Chainsaw Man Church for World Peace. The church says their mission is to help Chainsaw Man prevent a prophecy that foresees the extinction of humanity. What they don't say is that their means of doing this are a lot more sinister than any of their members know. The church adopts Chainsaw Man as an idol. They use him as a symbol that represents so many things that Denji doesn't even stand for. Because Chainsaw Man isn't the type of hero who really addresses the public, it's easy for the church to hijack his identity and turn it into a propaganda machine that they use to lure in and control one of the most impressionable demographics of people: teenagers. From the outside looking in, Chainsaw Man kicks ass. He saves a lot of people, and generally has the goodwill of the public because he fights and kills devils. Kids like him even more because they figure out that he's around their age, and because they see someone their own age fighting devils on their own rather than waiting for the government to do it for them, they're inspired to follow suit. The church takes advantage of this when they steal Denji's identity. Now all of a sudden, there are these wild stories about Chainsaw Man that never happened. The church is anti-American, it makes its members get married and have kids early, they're mistrusting of adults, and spread some insane conspiracy theories. Everyone in the church, except for a few of the higher-ups, have no idea who Chainsaw Man actually is, or the fact that he has nothing to do with the church itself. They would have no reason to doubt that their hero stands for all of these things either, because the church has their very own fake Chainsaw Man, which makes all of their claims seem legitimate to its members. The thing that I want you to remember most from all of this is that Tatsuki Fujimoto, the creator of Chainsaw Man, is in the middle of writing about his main character Denji having his identity and image co-opted and used to represent a set of ideals that aren't his own. Now let me introduce you to Javier Milei, Argentina's most recently elected president. He is many things: a right-leaning anarcho-capitalist who's been inspired by Donald Trump, a man so obsessed with his dog that he had it cloned, and someone who during his campaign became known as the Chainsaw Man. He originally got this nickname because the platform he ran on involved making an insane amount of cuts and slashes to government spending through his getting rid of several vital government programs. To emphasize the points of his plan, he would bring a chainsaw to his rallies and rev it up to rile his supporters. The chainsaw quickly became a symbol of Milei's platform. And this symbol and his antics resonated with his supporters because Argentina has been in a state of economic disaster for a while now, and he offered a solution that was different from what they had been getting. These days, anime is bigger globally than it's ever been, so it makes sense that there would be fans of the Chainsaw Man series among his supporters. As a fan, how could you not make the connection between this nickname and the anime? At his rallies, some supporters started cosplaying Chainsaw Man himself, or other characters. They would bring plushies of Pochita, and Malay would gladly play along because anime is super popular among younger voters. You can imagine how this story progresses from here. Fans of Chainsaw Man everywhere see this clip of him holding a Pochita doll and go nuts. Next thing you know, people who have no idea what Chainsaw Man is start seeing this cute little doggo devil as a symbol that represents Malay's entire campaign. The association of Malay and Chainsaw Man went so far that it started getting national news coverage. There are articles about it everywhere, and opponents of Malay even tried to use this against him. They wanted people to focus on the fact that Pochita is a dangerous devil rather than just a cute little devil dog with a chainsaw sticking out of its head. Naturally, this backfired because Pochita is a cute little devil dog with a chainsaw sticking out of its head. Even though it may be easy to dislike Malay, it's impossible to dislike Pochita. Inevitably, Chainsaw Man and Pochita became unofficial mascots of Malay's campaign. There's fan art of the now president drawn as those characters that has become extremely popular on the internet. Fujimoto has been writing a story about Chainsaw Man's identity being stolen so that other people's ideals can be forced on it, and now it's been used to represent a politician and their platform. The timing of these two events could not have been more perfect. The release of this storyline and Malay's campaign have been parallel. This is what makes this coincidence even more interesting to me. What do you all think of this? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Peace.